President Donald Trump has said his trip to Asia showed that America's standing in the world has never been stronger, even as critics say he is destroying the nation's status as a global superpower by withdrawing from multinational trade agreements and the Paris Climate Accord. In an address from the diplomatic room of the White House, Mr. Trump offered a positive assessment of his five-country Asian tour, declaring that America is back and the future has never looked better. Meanwhile, the Pew Research Center reports that around the world, the popularity of the U.S. and confidence in its president have declined since the end of former President Barack Obama's administration and the start of Mr. Trump's. Mexico and Canada, both part of the North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement, which Mr. Trump has declared as the worst trade deal, have lost confidence in the U.S. president to do the right thing regarding world affairs, according to Pew. The same goes for Japan and South Korea, while Russia and Israel have gained confidence in the U.S. president since the Obama era. Meanwhile, confidence in the U.S. leader in Western European countries has plunged sharply. Mr. Trump's speech on Wednesday was announced with little notice, after the president had posted several tweets in the morning complaining about the media's coverage of him. The failing at Night Times hates the fact that I have developed a great relationship with world leaders like Xi Jinping, president of China, he wrote. They should realize that these relationships are a good thing, not a bad thing. The U.S. is being respected again. Watch Trade. During his address, Mr. Trump outlined his accomplishments in his several overseas trips this year, arguing that the U.S. was once again playing a leading role in the world. On each trip I have worked to advance American interests and leadership in the world, the president said. He asserted that he had inherited several problems when he took office. The one common thread behind all of these problems was the failure to protect the interests of the American people and American workers. He began his speech by recapping his Asia visit, saying he was met with incredible warmth, hospitality and most important, respect. He said the Asia trip had three goals. First, to unite the world against the nuclear menace by the North Korean regime, he said. Second, to advance American interests in the Asian region. And third, advance fair and reciprocal trade. Fair and reciprocal trade. So important. He touted Japan's cooperation with the U.S. on addressing North Korea, evidenced by additional sanctions, he said, more Japanese defense spending, and the nation's purchase of more U.S. military equipment. Regarding his visit to Beijing, Mr. Trump said he spoke with China's President Xi Jinping about reining in North Korea's expanding nuclear weapons program. Mr. Xi pledged to use his great economic influence over the regime to achieve our common goal of a denuclearized Korean peninsula, Mr. Trump stated. The president said he and the Chinese leader also discussed trade. The U.S. can no longer tolerate unfair trading practices that steal American jobs, wealth, and intellectual property. The days of the United States being taken advantage of are over, he said. He asserted that this message also resonated with leaders attending the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC in Vietnam. At one of his first acts as president, Mr. Trump rejected the far-reaching Pacific Rim Trade Pact known as the Trans-Pacific Partnership (TPP), which China is not involved in, disappointing many nations in the region. The 21 APEC leaders have recognized for the first time the need for fair and reciprocal trade, Mr. Trump said. I offered our vision for robust trading relationships in which Indo-Pacific nations can all prosper and grow together. I announced that the United States is ready to make bilateral trade deals with any nation in the region that wants to be our partner. He added more about Donald Trump Xi Jinping reuse content.